Senior day, always a interesting time of year, and one you're thankful for. And I've got 6 managers in this group of our 18, and they've been phenomenal. Led by Andrew Biddle, been here 4 years, but I can't thank them enough for the job that they do. Bring energy every day, the sacrifices, the 5 a.m.s with Terrence Shannon to the 10 p.m.s with guys, and all while being really good students. So my hat's off to them. I thank them. They'll all be successful. I hope employers out there should be lining up to hire guys that and ladies who've been a part of what these guys do. So Keaton, Coocher, that one runs pretty deep with me. Coached his dad for 4 years at Western Illinois. Know what a lot of time with Dave, his dad, and watched him grow into a very, very successful businessman and great family with his mom Jo and Keaton's mom Jo and knew Dave's parents. So it was a great opportunity for Keaton. Went to South Dakota, coaching change, and then wanted to dab his big toe into the high major basketball, and what a terrific young man, getting a degree. Will go to grad school as well. So he's helped carry our culture. There's days, a lot of days, he might be the best shooter in the gym, and was definitely a mid-level Division I player, and has impacted us through scouting and building our culture, and terrific guy. Everybody likes Keaton, and so very grateful to have him. Ben's been with us 1 year. Great story, in my opinion. The NAIA transfer to the Big Ten and stop at Evansville along the way. Outstanding shooter. He's one of the more cerebral players that I've coached. Obviously a mathematics major. Will walk out of University of Illinois with a master's degree in RST. His best basketball is still in front of him. It's been fun to watch Ben's confidence grow, playing on these stages, playing against the best players. He's had a really, really big impact on our team. Started most of the year, and is just a guy that, again, no one's worked harder than him. He's taken advantage of being a grad student and put in the time, and he's changed his body with Fletch in 1 year. So it's been fun to really watch his development, watch him grow, and I do think his best basketball's still in front of him as he grows in confidence, and we're getting the best out of him right now. Purdue, it's crazy. It's game 31, and it's the first time we've seen them. Obviously a team that was picked to win the league or close, and coming off a Final Four season, and Matt's done just an incredible job of a lot of veterans keeping that team together. Led by a guy that arguably could or will be the player of the year in Braden Smith. A high usage guy that shoots it extremely well. They're coming in very hot, making 18 threes in their last game. But a backcourt with he and Fletcher that proved to be one of the best in the Big Ten. So Caufman Ren is having a great year. Recipient of so many great passes from Braden and ball screens, and then they filled in very nicely with some other guys that are key role players. But team that can really shoot it. They're great offensively. Matt's teams always are, and got to play well to beat them.
Brad, how have you guys gone about this week with some extra time in terms of preparation and as far as improvements and building off of a really good showing there in Ann Arbor?
Yeah, again, we've still got to take our mandatory day off and handle that. We've done a lot of individual work. There's been a heavy dose of that in our practices, and yet it's really kind of back to basics, kind of first week stuff on the defensive side. Talking about some different things. We've added a couple things on the defensive side as well, as we know we'll need, as we move forward postseason. But it's been good. It's been refreshing. It's been nice to not talk about an opponent for a few days, but now it's been full bore Purdue here for the last couple, and we'll get dialed in on them.
Coach, when you have a guy like Braden Smith who does have the ball in his hands a lot, high usage rate, what does that change for you defensively? Do you have to dial up something different?
I mean, I think Braden's seen just about every coverage that you can see. It's the advantage of having, a John Stockton-like point guard. He's seen it all. He's gonna handle. He's gonna adjust. I think he's not only the highest usage, but his assist rate so high. That's a tribute to his teammates, but he finds them. He's one of the best players I've seen at late dump offs, in ball screens in the paint. He's got a never-ending dribble. He's when he's making shots, you've got to make him. All I can say is you've got to fight for everything against him. You got to make it as tough as you can for him, and know that he's going to score. He's going to make some. He's going to have a few assists, and that's what good point guards look like, and he's one of those for sure.
At this point last year, you spoke highly of your scout team. I guess what have you seen from that group this year as you enter March?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I think that they've got to, we're pretty good because we've been running Ty Rogers in there, a lot. Keaton's an elite shooter. AJ Red's, I think he's one of the top scorers. St. Ignatius, and he's pretty good. And then we've rotated some other guys in there as well. But and then Jason Jackson is, has days when he looks like the best player on the court. So we've gotten a lot out of that group. We can play really big, slide CB in there some, but they've got a big job, from out of bounds plays to opponents, highest frequency type actions. And so we get a very, very good hands-on simulation of what teams do. Is it, to the level of what we're going to see in a game? No, but it's a pretty close second.
With Ben, how have you seen him kind of settle into a little bit of a newer role here in the last couple games? And is there something specific that you like about what that allows him to unlock?
Yeah, some of it's been by necessity. With Perez out, there's been some need to slide him, to a little more at the five. There's been a ton of positives with that on the offensive side. Him as a small ball five is a handful because of his ability to shoot it. We saw that in the last game. He's really embraced that defensively. He's done a nice job. He's not he's not going to be the greatest rim protector in terms of blocking shots and doing all that, but his positioning's great, and he's a great talker and communicator. So I think he's been fine. We still haven't forgot about him, as a four, as a three, depending on what lineups we have out there. But he's been, I think his confidence in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks has been really, really high, and I think he's growing. I think he's getting lost in the defensive side and not worrying as much about makes and misses, and his rebounding was outstanding in the Michigan game. So we've got to keep that Ben going.
I guess when you're in the transfer process, when it comes to a guy like Keaton, was that an easy one for you because you've known him, I assume almost his whole life?
Yeah, that was pretty easy. That wasn't very hard. I knew the substance of the family. I knew his dad, his work ethic, his everything that he stood for. I mean, his dad was an unrelenting worker. As a player, we've stayed in touch a lot over the years, and he was always in the gym. Dave's been very successful in his own right as a businessman, and so there wasn't any negative side to that for me. And the fact he's a really good player helped. The other side of that, he's just done an unbelievable job of contributing to our culture, and doing that as a guy that didn't play a lot, but did it as a guy that everybody liked and understood exactly what we were about, and he's relayed that to our new guys. He's had a huge impact with that.
Brad saw the report of Merez having the cast off. What changes now for him with that, and what's the lead up like if you are to get him back next week at the Big Ten tournament?
Yeah, I don't know yet, Derek. I mean, right now it's everything's conditioning. He didn't do anything for 10 days. They didn't allow him to do any movement, really, just to kind of keep it still. I think now he's back and doing stuff at a pool. He's doing some running. The cast is off, so it's just hand exercises and movement type stuff. And then they'll scan it, and then we'll have a better idea of what the results of that scan are, and then just getting back in practice. But he'll have a busy few days, from the conditioning side of it, trying to do some stuff. He's done quite a bit with one hand, with his right hand, just in ball handling, but we haven't been able to put him in any position where he could possibly fall. And so that's, I think getting fitted for a brace and all of that was happening. It's happening here in the next few days. So we'll see what that looks like, but we're hopeful and praying for a positive scan.
Because you've got a little bit smaller with Will starting, and of course Merez out. Does that present some issues with Caufman Ren, a guy who's really active in the paint?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, he's capable of getting 30. He's a really, really good player. I think it's, we like to think that maybe there's some problems on the other side as well. Caleb Faust has been really effective for them in terms of just kind of being the junkyard dog, physical guy around the dunker spot in the around the basket. So I think there's, the rebounding side of things is impactful. It's got to be more than just than Tommy and they're battling those two guys. So guys are gonna have to stick their nose in there, and we'll see what kind of how the game moves around a little bit. But it'll be a yeoman's task, because Caufman Ren's having a great season.
Yes. With the impact you said that Keaton had on the culture and maintaining that and instilling that with the new guys, was there anything in particular you saw him do or heard him say that stood out to you in that regard?
Yeah, I think he's done a lot by, one, he's very vocal, he's very popular, so everybody likes him, but I think the other piece to that is that he's an unrelenting worker. So here you've got a guy that's a walk-on in your program that's in shooting as many balls as anybody else, and he's pulling guys in with him, and this is just the vocal part of being able to, hey, this is what coach is thinking here, this is what we do, this is the fact that we lift every day, the fact that nutrition is such a big part of what we do. I mean, just helping guys get through those moments are all very impactful things, because he's a extremely willing participant and all that, and a very big force in helping us enforce that, and it's got a huge piece.
With the extra time you get now for the next 2 weeks between games, how do you balance maybe wanting to go hard in practice and really kind of push guys and get as many reps in as possible entering the postseason, while also maybe allowing for some rest and recharging.
Yeah, it's a really fine line. We've spent a good amount of time talking about that today, especially depending on what happens with Merez. We need time with Merez. We need some actual practice time and court time, kind of getting his timing back, getting him into the flow of things, if that's allowed to happen. And then I think it's you start managing a little bit, knowing you could be in a 4 straight day type deal. When's your day off? What does that look like? Do we do a shooting day? We're not reinventing the wheel at this point. We're trying to refine some things, but yeah, you've got to really manage that a little bit and think about and be thoughtful about how you handle some of your high minute guys. And yet we've got a guy that's a big part of what we want to do and how we want to get there. That's been out, so we got to finagle a way to get him some practice time too, if that's the direction it goes.
Brad, we saw a few months ago an announcement of a waiver for guys with non-D1 experience. Is that something that you expect to, or have broached with Ben, a conversation about what that looks like and could look like?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'd be foolish not to explore every option to want to have that young man back. I don't know if there's any decision made on his side yet. He was a guy that went through a lot of workouts last year. I think he has just gained so much on the mental side, the confidence that he could that we've seen here. I think the job that Fletch has done with him and continuing to enhance his body and grow it. So we'll see where that goes. We got to get 3 weeks, I guess, or a month. I don't know what the exact date is, but absolutely that's been looked at and talked about.
With 4 guys, 4+ assists on Sunday, is that something you're encouraged by? Does that present the ability to have playmaking from different spots that you want to see going forward?
Very much so. Very excited about that. There was, we played Will Riley at the point almost all year on the second team. He has practiced 8 out of 10 practices have been at the point guard spot in that with that second group and when he wasn't starting. And now you see his playmaking. Now you can put the ball in his hands. Now we become a lot about matchups. Having 3 guys that are primarily can all play in ball screens, all be effective downhill, and all have the ability to finish. So we'll see what that. We like that. I thought it was a big piece of the Michigan game, just picking on matchups. And then you can do some different things with Trey as well. So that's been really, really good for us. I'm excited about as we continue to move forward.
Really continuing on that theme, how big is it that Kylin Boswell's playing his best ball right now? And you have 2 point guards that are interchangeable like that.
Yeah, and I almost think we've got 3 with Will. I mean, Will's a Tyrese Halliburton type guy to me. I mean, he's just kind of that guy who just makes the right play all the time, so Kylin's playing great. Kylin's been no doubt his best since he even played. He played really, really well in the Duke game. His defense against Cooper for the most part was off the chart. He's been that guy all year. Now we're seeing the vocal side. Now we're seeing a more aggressive side. And again, he's such a good cutter. He's such a good screener. He's really good with the ball. He's finishing much better. He's not hesitating shooting the basketball. He's shooting the right shots. So I've been ecstatic about his play.
It's kind of in the same vein, but you talked about using those 3 guys in ball screens, but the fact that all 3 are different, like what does that maybe do for the offense where it's a ball screen, but it's a different look maybe with either of those 3 kind of running it against the defense?
Yeah, it's nice because that becomes our chess match. you know, and from a coaching standpoint, is trying to find those matchups, seeing what guys do with them, and how they choose to play them. You know, teams want to switch. We're playing into switches that we've been really good with. You know, it goes back to Io, Trent, and Dre. You know, being able to do a lot of the same things with this trio that we did with those guys in just different spots. They all do things differently, but the unselfishness of the playmaking's been, you know, it's not just the shot making. It's been absolutely tremendous, and I think it's helped each one of them. You know, it's good not to have KJ on the ball all the time. It's good to not have, you know, Bam on the ball all the time. So, and then Will's gotten really comfortable doing those same things.
You know, it seems like with Tommy healthy, seems like guys, like, especially against Michigan, are just cutting harder. Have you seen that from guys, and him as a playmaker at that high post? What does he give you?
Absolutely, and you know, it's the pace with which we play. We talk about race, space, and pace all the time, and in our program, and you know, the race is up and down the court. The space is huge to what we do, and then the pace is in the half court, and you know, when we can cut at a great rate of speed, that helps. We want to cut faster than the defense moves, and you know, that's helped everybody. Every single player on our team has been a recipient of Tommy's passes, and you know, Tommy's I still say it, he didn't make many the other night, but he's an unbelievably good shooter. And when you have to guard that at the 3-point line, and he's not bashful there, you know, he's had 6 in a game. So, you know, we're gonna open things up and guard him, and these guys got to cut with that pace, and they'll get layups. He'll deliver it.
After seeing Danny Wolf and Cooper Flagg, you think Kylin's gonna remember what it's like to guard a guy his size?
Who says he's guarding him?
Just could be somebody else that's close.
I mean, you know, I mean, I think it's, that's the one thing I like about Kylin Boswell is Kylin Boswell's incredibly strong, and his lower half is as strong as any player I've coached, and you know, so you never know, he may be a Caleb first matchup, you never know, so just you know, we'll see how the game goes. See you. Thank you.
Thanks.